DZRH, Elizalde.
Forget the past, it's time to mend.
A corporate thing.
So, ang sinasabi ko na lang,
Isang mapayapang hapon, Pilipinas! Narito na naman ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa atin sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood ng RH-TV, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Noong bata pa kami, kapag Holy Week, wala kang mapapanood sa TV o sa mga sinehan, kundi mga palabas na hango sa mga istorya sa Biblia o di kaya mga kwentong buhay ng mga santo at mga banal na tao. Subalit ngayon, halos iilan na lamang ang nagtatangkang gumawa ng mga religious movies dahil siguro hindi na rin ito masyadong hinahanap ng tao. Ngayon yata mas gusto pa ng mga manonood na ubusin ang kanilang oras sa panonood ng mga superheroes, mga aliens, o di kaya mga zombies. At kung ganyan ang mentalidad ng karamihan sa ating mga audience, paano kaya makakakuha ng atensyon ang isang pelikula na base sa buhay ng isang santong nabuhay sa Espanya mahigit na 500 taon na nakalipas? Yan ang aalamin natin sa hapong ito, kaya't huwag kayong aalis. Samahan ninyo kami sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan kasama ang mag-asawang direktor na sina Paulo at Kathy D. mula sa pelikulang Ignacio de Loyola.
Si Paulo D. ay isang freelance director na mas kilala para sa kanyang mahigit 100 TV commercials na naipalabas sa iba't ibang bansa sa Asia at maging sa Estados Unidos. Ang kanyang mga corporate videos ay nanalo na rin ng makailang beses sa Anvil Awards at Gold Quill Awards of Excellence at naging finalist sa New York Festivals. Noong 2004, nagwagi si Paulo sa The Pitch screenwriting competition ng MTV Asia sa Singapore at noong 2010 naman, ang pelikula niyang Creative License ay nagkamit ng unang gantimpala sa US National 24-Hour Film Race Competition. Ang kanyang unang short film na Miko ay nagwagi din sa Bogan Imaging Short Film Competition sa New York na sinundan ng isa pang short film, ang QWERTY, na naging finalist naman sa Spike Lee's Bubblegum Online Film Festival at ipinalabas din sa 2008 Asian Hot Shots Festival sa Berlin. Samantala, si Kathy Azanza D. ay isang aktres, direktor at manunulat para sa tanghalan. Nagsimula siya sa Repertory Philippines kung saan una siyang napabilang sa mga productions ng Annie, Oliver, Man of La Mancha, at marami pang iba. Lumabas din siya sa Little Mermaid ng Crumpets, Once on This Island ng Actors Actor Incorporated at The Rocky Horror Show ng Atlantis Productions. Bukod dito, lumabas din siya sa iba't ibang pagtatanghal sa New York at Singapore. Bilang manunulat, ginawa ni Kathy ang screenplay ng 2010 short film na Creative License na nagwagi sa US National 24-Hour Film Racing Tour. Kabilang naman sa kanyang mga directorial credits ang Defending the Caveman at Love, Loss, and What I Wore. Kasalukuyan siyang namamahala sa Special Projects Committee ng Philippine Theater Actors Guild. Isang malugod na pagbati ang hatid ng Art2art sa ating mga panauhin sa hapong ito, sina Paulo D. at Kathy Azanza D.
Magandang hapon, Kathy, and magandang hapon, Paulo. Welcome to Art2art.
Magandang hapon and thank you very much for having us.
Obviously, nandito kayo para pag-usapan ang Ignacio de Loyola, right? But, bago nating umpisahan ang discussion na yan, let's go back to your roots. Paano kayo unang napasok sa larangan ng sining, sa paggawa ng pelikula? Because like Paulo, I understand, of course, isa kang well-known na advertising director, right? So, I mean, nag-umpisa ka sa commercials.
Right.
Yes?
Kasi my journey started before arts-wise at least. Even before college, I was into like music and art and so on. In fact, I wanted to join yung music. I mean, College of Music in UP. But classic
Okay.
story for I'm sure all the artists watching
Oo,
and
sinabi
listening.
siguro ng magulang mo
Oo.
na walang pera dyan.
No, not naman that. Sabi naman niya, nakita naman nila, yeah, okay, yes, you may have potential, but there are lots of people in the arts who, you know, in the end decided that they wanted to do something else. Pero sabi niya, okay, you go do your business degree or whatever, and then after that, do what you want.
Okay.
All right,
So,
so-
you got a business degree.
Yes, I was management engineering degree sa Ateneo, which is so
wow.
different from what I do now.
Yes.
And in fact, after that whole thing, my dad kasi lent me his video camera one summer. And naaliw lang kami doon. We were living in the dorm. We didn't have much money to go out and lakwatsa. We didn't have cars and so on. So parang we amused ourselves with making short films, music videos, and so on. And one of my pieces got the attention of Father Johnny Go at Jesuit Communications. And actually, that led to me having my first like semi-pro job there as an editor. So yun, parang ganun. From then on, that started my association with JustCom. And that's coming back to me now. Through the years, I've been doing a little bit of directing for them as well. And now, I'm doing the feature.
Yes,
I
of
did
course,
the
the
feature film with
Ignacio
them.
de Loyola.
So somewhere between that and now I studied directing, I studied cinematography and all the other associated things, and somehow, grace of God, I broke into advertising, and I've been having a lot of fun there. But of course, iba rin yung satisfaction. I love both. Iba rin yung satisfaction ng advertising. You do a pretty good commercial na, you know, people find fun, amusing, you know, and helps your clients as well. And iba rin yung satisfaction of making a film.
Yes.
So we did. I've done a bunch of short films as well that have gotten some recognition abroad. We've won some awards in New York. There's one that was interesting. We did a short film thing as part of the 2010 U.S. National Film Racing Competition.
Okay.
That's like 24 hours. You write, you shoot, you edit, you score, you send
In
it
24 hours,
In 24
walang
hours,
tulog.
5 minutes. That was,
Walang tulog,
That
yeah.
lang tulog. That was in New York.
And you had to physically send in the copy. You can't email it to
Email.
them. It was really put it in a disc and then run across the town and submit mo. And then they clock you in na pasok ka dun sa 24 hours.
We did that with Topper.
Magandang reality TV
Actually,
show
yes,
yan.
actually. So we won the New York leg, and it won the national. So it was the national champion. Film for that
Okay,
year,
And
and actually,
we wrote it in Filipino.
yes,
And then may English subtitles.
may English subtitles, and the American audience absolutely appreciated it, which was so wonderful for us, no? And we, the NCCA
Yes.
decided to give us an anin ng dagal just to recognize that win as well. So that was nice for us. Yun, that was, it's been quite a journey actually.
Pero lahat ito nangyari before Ignacio.
Before
de Loyola.
Ignacio, yes.
Okay. So, in other words, yung journey mo, Paolo, parang from a business degree, napunta ka sa making of short films, and then napunta ka sa commercials,
Commercial.
and in advertising, back to short films, and then a feature film.
Right. They all merge together actually. You do it this and that at the
Yeah.
same time.
Okay. So,
Yun.
Kathy, ikaw naman, I understand ang background mo naman ay Repertory Philippines and musical theater.
Yes, I'm mainly known as a musical theater actress. Started out with Repertory Philippines, but like at home when I was very, very young, I would see the scrapbook of my dad who used to do a lot of theater in Ateneo. He was under Sir Pagsi.
Of
And
course,
so,
lahat naman ng Atenista in theater under Mr.
Yes.
Pagsi. Oo.
So
He's a legend.
Exactly. and si Prof. Pagsi would of course like instill this, yung talagang makukuha mo yung passion of performing and yung love for art and literature from him, the love of the words, the love of making them fall trippingly from your tongue, diba? So my dad got very much into that when he was in college. And he kept all the clippings. And then, nung bata ako, tinitignan ko yon. And then nagtatanong ako ng mga, Dad, ano yung Cyrano de Bergerac? Ano yung mga, mainly ano yung mga Shakespeare plays, mga Zarzuela, yung iba. And then, my dad would answer me na ganito yon, you put up a play, you rehearse, ganyan. So, I got interested mainly from that. I felt na it sounded like something that really gave you the sense of community and then expression as well, So I tried out I went to Repertory Philippines for a workshop. And then it was when I was there that...
How old were you?
I was, I think, around 16.
16, okay.
16. And then while I was there, si Tita Bibot Amador saw the workshop show, and she told me, well, you know what, why don't you come and audition for the company? Because we're doing a play. So it started from there. I auditioned for them, and then I became part of the Repertory Showstoppers, which is a group that normally performs for events, or we do a lot of singing. And then now, as it is in theater, ang dami ng theater companies ngayon. A lot of the people who founded these theater companies were also mentored by Tita Bibot Amador.
And ngayon meron na silang mga sariling theater companies.
Yes, and madami na talaga.
Marami na talagang opportunities.
So ngayon, we tend to jump from one theater company to another. And it's really nice, I think, now, because talagang you get to work with different people, you get exposed to different styles, and that's been going on for me. When I met Paolo, we kind of did this small film for a friend. It was just like her little project. And eventually, nag-progress yun into, nag-collaborate na kami with short films. The first thing was creative, not creative license, sorry, Miko, which starred a very young Sam Concepcion. He was around 10, I think, nang nangyari. He was still doing theater before he jumped to showbiz.
Yes.
We cast him and his dad. It was a two-hander, and that one also won the...
In New York, we won a competition in New York.
So... And then we did a film with Michael Williams. It was a short film called Kurti, which was like a suspense thriller. And then it progressed into creative license. And then when he got involved with Ignacio, he said, I think it's just right that you jump onto this project with me. And that's how it kind of started. The collaboration just kind of flowed naturally between us.
Okay. So, lahat ng experience mo, Kathy, in film is because you met Paolo?
A big deal of it, a big part of it, yes.
Or before you met Paolo, you already had...
Well, I'm a broadcast journalism graduate also. So yeah, I was exposed to that side as well. But of course, it's a different discipline.
Ibang-iba.
Journalism and film is also very different. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And theater and film
theater
is
and
also
film
very
is also
different.
very different. Yeah.
I have to say, though, that as far as her being involved in film because of me, but at the same time, I would say that she's coming from a more, I don't want to say higher, but maybe in some ways a purer form of art. Right? Because I come from a very technical background. I came in as an editor and then a cinematographer as well. And so I love the nitty-gritty of what, lenses and things to do. But having met Kathy and having learned from her so many things about performance and fleshing out characters and actually making sure that what you write on the script actually makes sense coming from the mouths of living human beings, I owe pretty much everything I know about acting and performance and character to Kathy, and so it's been a very wonderful collaboration for me, at least. It's been. I don't know about you. I've learned a ton from her. So.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, there's nothing really like live theater to train you and to set the bar. Really. Kasi nga pag live theater, I mean, just like I'm thinking also about ballet dancing and ballet performances. Hindi ka makadaya. You cannot cheat in live theater. Whereas in other mediums, medyo
you can
may paraan, no? Pag matweak. In other words, hindi ka makakat and retake sa live theater. You just have to go with it, di ba? Okay. And speaking of going with the flow, marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan kasama sina Director Paulo D. at Associate Director Kathy Azanza D. mula sa pelikulang Ignacio de Loyola. Dito pa rin sa Art2art, magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto, update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa musika, patuloy na inihahandog ng National Parks Development Committee sa pamumuno ng Cultural and Public Affairs Division ang mga libreng palabas sa open-air auditorium ng Rizal Park tuwing linggo alas 6 ng gabi. Tampok ngayong buwan ng Agosto ang mga sumusunod. August 7, Lorma Liksining Performing Group sa klasikong handog sa Kabukiran. August 14, mga soprano, baritone at tenor na mang-aawit sa Musikang Atin, a buwan ng Wika Concert. August 21, Pandakan Community Band at sa August 28, Centro Escolar University Singers, Manila. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa NPDC 302-7079. Itatanghal ang konsyertong pinamagatang An Evening of Liszt with Lorenzo Medel sa August 13, alas 7:30 ng gabi sa Brother Donato Hall ng Lasal Green Hills. Ilan sa piyesang tutugtugin ay ang Sonata in B Minor, Mephisto Waltz No. 1 in A Major at Transcendental Etudes No. 4, 8, and No. 10. Para sa ticket at karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 716-1854. Sa pelikula, ipalalabas ang mga award-winning Asian indie films sa Visions of Asia, section ng isasagawang 12th Cinemalaya Independent Film Festival hanggang August 14. Tampok ang mga sumusunod. Stranger ni Yermek Trusonov, Kazakhstan. Motorbicycle ni Shamira Rangana Nautuna, Sri Lanka. Until I Lose My Breath ni Emin Emel Balsi, Turkey at Germany. Mina Walking ni Yosef Baraki, Afghanistan. The Kids ni Sony Yu, Taiwan. Under Heaven ni Dalmira Tilep Bernagova, Kyrgyzstan. River Road ni Li Ruijin, China. Child of Death, Umashankar Swami, India. Ken and Kazu ni Hiroji Shoji, Japan. At August in Tokyo ni Yutaro Nakagawa, Japan. Mapapanood ang mga ito sa Cultural Center of the Philippines at sa mga piling Ayala Cinemas. Para sa karagdagang detalye, bumisita sa website cinemalaya.org o kaya culturalcenter.gov.ph.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin natin para pag-usapan ang historical film na Ignacio de Loyola, ang director nito na si Paulo D. at ang kanyang associate director na si Kathy Azanza D. Okay, Paulo, we understand that Ignacio de Loyola is your first feature film.
First feature film, yes.
So can you talk to us about how the film came about, the concept, the people behind the project?
Well, it's always been a dream of my friends over at Jesuit Communications Foundation. Specifically, sila, our producers, Paul Mangilog Saltarin and Ernestine Tamana, and of course, the head of JESCOM, which is Father Nono Alfonso. They've been thinking about putting this together for quite some time. Because the last film about Ignatius was shot in the 1940s?
Around 1948,
48.
1949.
Of course, in the era, it was black and white. It was in Spanish with English subtitles for us. And then they just wanted to update it, really. And at first, it was a simple project of, they just want a new piece of material about Ignatius to introduce new generations of Jesuit students, in other words. And then they started thinking, well, if we're going to do that anyway, are we going to go shoot it in Spain so that it's more, it's more historically accurate? And if we're going to go do that, why not make it a full feature film? Just to make, just to keep things updated and keep... In other words, Father Nono always says he really wanted to be able to talk to the youth. He didn't want to do another documentary or another historical, coverage of something that kids are just gonna, maybe not listen to anymore and just go back to their Facebook or whatever. No? So he said, yeah, let's be ambitious. Let's do a feature film. Let's make it dramatic. Let's make it something that will appeal to and speak to them and talk about one, who Ignatius really was, and two, what made him special. What was his contribution to, the spiritual realm. So I guess that's what they went with. And eventually, when they came up to the point where they really wanted to put it together already, there was a special anniversary of the Jesuits. The restoration was maybe about 2 years ago, something like that. And they decided, let's go for it. And yun, they decided to bring me on, and we worked out the script. We worked out the preparations for the entire film. We went to Spain twice to prepare for it, looking for locations, looking for actors. And in 2015, we finally shot it over 2 months. And
Okay.
then, yeah, here we are. We have a completed, released movie.
Yeah. So from the first concept to completion, how many years?
Easily 4 years, 5.
So it's a 4 or 5 year project.
Yeah, and if you think about when they were like starting to think about doing it already, it's easily another 3 or 4 years beyond that. We like to say it's been 10 years in the making.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the first feature film that had a special screening in the Vatican, or the first Filipino
First Filipino, yeah.
feature film
Yeah.
that had a screening in the Vatican.
it was, what-
So,
Yeah.
can you tell us about that event?
It was the Salye,
It was the Sala de Filmoteca.
Filmoteca.
So Father Nono, I think, had written to the Father General, I think, in the Jesuits, and then he had also contacted some people at the Vatican Press and to see if they would like to screen the film. The place where we screened it was actually built there. I think built partly because Pope John Paul II really liked to watch movies. He was an actor.
He was an actor.
So he was an artist
Yes,
as well.
that's true,
So
that's
he
true.
enjoyed watching films, and that venue kind of became the place where he would watch, anything and everything, anything that inspired him, anything he thought that was fun. And Pope Benedict as well would frequent the place, and right now we have Pope Francis.
Yeah.
And they arranged a screening for us, and we were actually very delighted to hear that they had accepted this request, and they had told us that we would definitely want to see this film with Saint Ignatius. And so we had the Father General of the Jesuits there. We had also members from the Vatican Press show up. Many luminaries, I think many different cardinals as well showed up. And it was a very nice kind of intimate viewing of the film. We had a couple of our yung ibang Pinay nuns nandun din. So sobra silang natuwa to see a film like this made by Filipinos, because they felt it was really it really lent itself to the spirit of magis, nga what the Jesuits call magis, na giving more.
Yes.
And trying to surpass yourself each day to make yourself a better person, bring yourself closer to God. And it was just it was a great experience. I mean, and there were, of course, for the filmmakers in the theater, we're so used to, I think, knowing when the audience is with you exactly. You can kind of gauge when they're one with you, you can hear when they laugh with you. But when you're editing something like this, you're kind of predicting the moments, but you're never really sure that's gonna be there when they finally see it. And this was one of the first instances na we'd put in a few jokes here and there, and they laugh, and that was a very fun experience for us. We stayed in the back of the room and saw the audience reacting. And I kept telling Paolo, I'm like, I feel at home again. It's like the theater all over again. So it was a wonderful experience for us. Yeah.
Okay. Well, na-mention mo nga, Paolo, that the movie was shot in Spain. I mean, it was with a Spanish cast, right?
With a Spanish cast, yeah.
I mean, making a period film is hard enough.
Oh.
In Spain pa, logistically, what was it like?
Oh my goodness. All right.
Walk us through the production experience. Nightmarish ba?
No, it's tough.
Okay,
it's
highlights lang.
Because
I mean, how did you prepare? It was such an ambitious project.
we practically had to put up our own United Nations there.
Okay.
Because we had our Filipino, all the key staff was Pinoy. I was the writer-director, Kathy's the associate director, our assistant director, our cinematographer, our sound department, costume and
Costumes,
art,
prop, yeah.
makeup and so on. All the key positions were all Pinoy. And we did get support staff from there. We had a local production manager and we had local crew as well. And of course our cast was Spanish, and the whole movie is in English. So there was a casting specificity pa there that we had to deal with pa, no?
You had to have Spanish actors and actresses that
Who
could speak
fluently,
English.
very
Yeah.
fluently and idiomatically speak English. And so parang it was that, and then we had to sort out cultural differences, work styles differences. Pinoys tend to be very bayanihan spirit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like you see someone who needs help, no matter what department you are, you'll run over to them and help them carry whatever. Apparently, the Western style, I guess, I'm not talking specifically Spanish, but Western style is certainly because of union rules, certainly because of specific responsibilities, you're not really allowed to jump departments.
Yeah.
I mean, you take
Pag
care
hindi
of
mo
your...
job description, dapat hindi mo papakialaman.
Hindi mo pakialam kasi you might break something, right? So we had to somehow find a middle ground regarding
Ang
that.
Pinoy kasi all heart.
All heart. Absolutely.
And I think one of the biggest logistical things also was, which is, I think it's great. It makes you think really efficiently. But they really enforce the 10-hour rule. So per day, there's a cap of 10 hours of shooting, plus 1 hour for lunch. But minsan, in those 10 hours, kailangan kasama dun yung travel time dun sa location. So, if you can imagine na we did it mga ilang days yun, mga 18, 19 days.
Wow,
10
kasama ang
hours,
travel time.
kasama ang travel. So, kailangan sobra kang galing magplano na, okay, 10 minutes away lang dapat itong location. We have to stay 10 minutes away lang or the most is 1 hour away para lang hindi, you know, like hindi masayang yung oras mo because we had some pretty big scenes to shoot as well.
Oo nga.
Yeah.
So in terms of, so those were the limitations. In terms of getting performances from them, it was very, very lucky that we were working with such a fantastic cast. These were really top people that we found through a common friend who was Chris Downs, who's a family friend, and he's an assistant director there. He's a director in his own right. And he's involved whenever the big Hollywood things come into Spain. He's involved in that. He was on the last season of Game of Thrones, for instance. And so he was able to send us these wonderful, wonderful actors, and they were mostly really, really trained, really experienced. Some of them very famous in like theater and so on. And so in shooting the film, that helped us a lot because they were so on the ball, and with including our readings with them, and you know, because of Kathy's ability to speak to them in very actor language, in other words, you know,
Playable terms.
Playable terms and so on. That helped us a lot and made it almost like a half film, half theater thing where everything was, like you said, you need to be on it all the time. And, you know, we had very few instances where, almost no instances where we had to wring out a performance from someone because all of them were just blow your mind away really, really good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. So everything went smoothly. Everything was on schedule. The budget didn't go higher.
Oh my goodness, no, none of those.
Did you have those kinds of problems?
It was a rolling budget. Rolling budget.
Nakakatakot yung mga ganyan.
Yes. Of course, you're blindsided sometimes by things you don't expect. And when we went over there, not everything was planchado na. Parang we had to in a lot of ways improvise a lot of things. We were missing a few key props. We had to find them, and grace of God, we somehow through the kindness of a lot of the people we were working with there, the locals who saw what we were doing, natutuwa sila kasi, uy, San Ignacio, santo namin yun. So, you know, tumutulong din sila. Anong maitulong namin? We need sheep. Here are the sheep. You borrow our sheep, you know? We need period bread and cheese. We have artisanal bread here. So things like that. And no, it wasn't absolutely the OC part of every actor will always, or every artist will always want everything planned out to the meticulous detail so that everything goes smoothly. Here we had no chance to really do that because of schedule, budget, all that stuff. So improvisation and trying to make things work.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a great experience. Okay, quickly, can you give us the gist of the movie? Anong mga bahagi sa buhay ni San Ignacio ang binigyan ninyo, of course, ng focus at importansya?
Saint Ignatius kasi, si San Ignacio, minsan hindi rin compared to St. Francis, St. Dominic, alam na natin yung focus ng buhay nila, alam na natin yung mga nagawa nila. St. Ignatius is a very interior, he's basically a very thinking man saint in a lot of ways, and very, his achievements deal more with being able to give us a way of prayer or a way of relating to God that was new for the time. If you've ever been on a retreat, that came from his, in that time, revolutionary
yes.
ways. So, si San Ignacio, in the movie, we show him from his childhood, where he was almost practically given away by the dad, because the mom had died in early childbirth. He grew up with a blacksmith who served as his foster parents. They were rich, but at the same time, he was the youngest son. So wala na ring naiwang mana sa kanya, right? And he had dreams of becoming a military commander, but things weren't working out for him, and natamaan ng kanyon at that famous battle. And so he had to change his whole plan for his life. And he had to deal with plan B, in other words. And we like to talk to him as the saint of second chances. So anyone who's ever had that thing na you thought your life would go one way and you're forced to go another way, we can learn something from his story and get a sense of encouragement that no matter what, even if you feel like your life's not in your control, it's in good hands.
Okay.
So that's what we worked on.
A fantastic message. Yeah. Very relevant. So, sino-sino mga cast members, miyembro ng production staff, mga mahalagang banggitin? Like, I understand, ang music is by Ryan Cayabyab.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mr. C, of course, composed the music. And I have to say, it's lush, it's grand, as is expected with Mr. C. And it's beautiful in the way that it treads so many gray areas. The movie is really about... it's very hard to deal with the story of the quieting of a life, no? Kasi minsan gusto natin yung mga characters na malalaki, mga, di ba, madaming ginagawa.
Maraming action na nangyayari.
Brash, ganyan. Which, oo naman, si San Ignacio, ganun siya from the start. Pero later, parang nagiging mas at peace siya with himself, so tumatahimik siya. But I think in moments like that, tsaka actually gumagana lalo yung internal life mo as a person. Like, minsan, or our lives are filled with this na, from being single to getting married. The internal changes within you are diba, really, so there's so much. So I think Mr. C's music was really able to bring that internal life out to the audience, and then you can hear it. There you can hear you can hear moments of consternation, nag-iisip. You can hear moments of nagbabattle yung emotions niya. And it just has so much heart and so much about being human. And then we had our production designer, Leo Velasco, who, his team probably did the work of 100 people, really more than, because period costumes,
Anything period nga, mahirap eh.
Kasi the further you go back in time, the more budget you need. So it was super difficult.
5 tons of costumes and equipment that we shipped.
Wow,
Yes.
5 tons.
5 tons.
Okay.
So, and then sina Jovan Bermil, who did the makeup, and the hair, and they were dressing up people as well in wardrobes. So they also accounted, there were very few of them, and tumutulong na rin kami minsan because talagang it was the job of maybe 200 people, but everyone just kind of helped out. And our actors, of course, were so amazing. Our lead actor is Andreas Munoz, who is a graduate of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland.
Okay.
I think some alumni here, like James McAvoy is from there. So it's a fantastic acting school, and he really gave so much to the character. I mean, he lived it. Sometimes I would tell Paolo, I love this guy. Whenever he would email us and we would be discussing things, he doesn't even sign it Andreas. He signs it Inigo. So he's really living it.
His first movie...
Feel na feel niya.
Yeah.
His first movie at the age of 9 was with Guillermo del Toro. It was The Devil's Backbone.
Yes.
And then after that, he was like one of these Disney kids, you know, na in
Disney kids sa
Spain,
Spain.
in Spain, and yung kabatch niya sila, Selena Gomez, and they're all grown up now, and they say he's excited about this film because it was his first time to be a lead in a big, you know, big time, you know.
We have Javier Godino,
Javier
who was in an Argentinian film which eventually went on to win the Oscar for Best Foreign Film, El Secreto de Tus Ojos. Julio Perillan, who's worked with Woody Allen. He was in Vicky Cristina Barcelona. Pepe Ocio, who's a very big stage actor in Spain as well. So we had a lot of very generous and very talented people. I think my job was to kind of I would be sensitive to how each actor prepares. It would either be you'd read with them beforehand, before the scene, or just kind of, especially for the emotional scenes, we would really be very strict about keeping things quiet and then getting, tackling it with them. And then at a certain point, there are parts where Andreas really needed to break down. So he would spend like an hour by himself just being very quiet, and we'd try to give him that space to do it. But it was really a beautiful collaborative experience between the Pinoys and the Spanish.
Yeah. Okay, as directors, why, bakit kailangan mapanood, lalo na ng mga kabataan natin ngayon, ang pelikulang ito?
I think the youth today will be able to relate to this film in a funny way that we only discovered later on. That, in a lot of ways, Saint Ignatius is, I would say, the first Facebook saint. He was obsessed with how he would be perceived by the world. He was obsessed. You could call him, actually, it's vanity. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to be along with the ranks of and he was a fanboy of this knight called Amadis de Gaula, a fictional character now. And that was their Game of Thrones, or that was their Harry Potter of the time. And so he wanted to be like that. He wanted to become a knight, become a hero, in other words. And so in a lot of ways, he was trying to project a certain image of himself. And in this movie, you find out that his struggle was to kind of have to let go of that whole need to project something perfect. And to find who he truly was, and therefore find a more genuine happiness than just that surface type of thing. So for me, come and watch it, because you'll find, if you haven't seen it already, struggle, we will find something of ourselves. And perhaps in how he dealt with it and triumphed, we can find some guidance as well.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Kathy and Paolo. Of course, I'm sure hindi pa tapos ang paglalakbay ninyo with Ignacio de Loyola. At sana talagang dumami pa ang audiences for your film, not just here but abroad, and lalo na sa mga kabataan. Sana yung mga naghahanap ng kabuluhan sa kanilang buhay, sana mapanood nila and they take it back with them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art2art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.